Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Life of Growth and Peace podcast. I am Coach Gazi. Some of you know me as Jazzy Jazz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am glad to have you back, glad to have you here. If you are new, this is a place where I share all of my business in hopes that it will help you to live a life of growth and peace. And that is the name of my business. That is what I do. I'm a life coach. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey, how you doing? I hope you're doing well today. And I sat down and I'm like, oh, they probably tired of me and my t-shirts. But y'all, I be getting dressed. And then when I want to chill, I just take whatever the top shirt is off. So this will be me unless I'm really super cold. You'll see me bundled up or, under my covers or what have you. But this is me in my regular everyday. I was like, oh, let me, get dressed or blah, blah, blah and be fancy and all put together. And y'all gonna get me in regular mode, which is my eyebrows don't look half bad. I like my mascara and my lip gloss. So yeah, that's my little rant for the moment. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you back. I actually want to talk about something that I've been, talking with a few people about recently. Within the past few weeks, I've had this conversation multiple times. So I figured, let's put it out there. Let's see where it goes. Let's see, where the people are concerning this particular topic, or just where you are with it. I'm excited about it. I don't know, something about this makes me super duper happy. So I would say excuse my excitement, but no, don't excuse it. It is what it is. Okay, so what I want to talk about is celibacy and being abstinent and waiting for marriage. And so for me, on May 13th, it'll be 6 years that I've been doing the celibacy journey. And so right now I'm at 5.5, and I'm so super excited because the first year was really hard. Like, not the first year, I'll say like the first 6 months. The first 6 months, when I put it in my mind that I'm gonna be celibate, like I ran well for like a month or two, and then I had to restart, But after the restart, it was like, oh, I was like that close to having to start again, but I didn't, and I made it. And I always lead with the story of one time. Now, this is before I learned. Like, after I learned, I knew better. But I was with this guy, and we were just hanging out, and I spent the night with him or whatever. And so the whole night I'm praying, like, Lord, please do not let me have sex with this man. I want to honor it. I've been doing well. It had been like maybe 3 or 4 months at that point of me being celibate. So I just wanted to keep going strong. And so I'm like, Lord, please. And so I hung out with him or whatever, spent the night. And so I think when we were getting tired, like I fell asleep on the couch, and he was like on the floor because he was playing a video game. And then so when I woke up, he was on the couch. So then I got on the floor. And so then he got on the floor. So then I got back on the couch. And then he said, oh, go lay in the bed. And I laid in the bed. And then he got in the bed. So then I got on the floor. Then he got on the floor. And then I got on the couch. And we did that all night, basically running from this man. And he didn't force himself on me. I'm thankful for that. Like, he was really a gentleman about it. He really wasn't rude in any way. He didn't press me or pressure me or anything like that. But the whole time, I'm sure he heard me. Like, I'm in my sleep. Like, how I woke myself up was, Lord, please don't let me have sex with this man. Lord, please don't don't let me have sex with this man. And so I was talking to my sis about it. And sis was like, well, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation that you got to pray your way out of. And so I was like, Yeah, you right. You know, she was right. Because the girl was praying hard, okay? And so she was right. And I was like, okay, I won't put myself in situations that I'm going to have to pray my way out of, you know? And that was the last time I was in that situation. And I think right after that, I kind of learned what I learned was like God's intention for sex in marriage. So right before that, I learned about soul ties. Like I was during that process, I was learning about soul ties. So the beginning of my celibacy, I learned about soul ties. So what I learned about a soul tie is when you have sex with somebody, your souls intertwine to become one. And so after that, I learned God's intention for marriage. And so what I learned about God's intention for marriage was like marriage is supposed to be between a man and a wife. And so when it says a man shall leave his wife and the two shall become one flesh, what that means is like when they consummate the marriage, so when they have sex after the covenant is created, the two souls become one. Because when you have sex with somebody, the two become your parts of you. Like how I explain it is like the innermost parts of you and the innermost parts of the other person are coming together. These are your most sacred parts, and they're coming together, intertwining with each other and becoming one. And so that's how the two become one. When you both release, when you both climax, like you are releasing, I'll say energy or releasing innermost parts of yourself to the other person, which is really binding you guys closer together. And that's how the two become one. So what a soul tie is if I have sex with somebody and then a part of me is connected to that person, and then they have sex with somebody else, and a part of the third person is connected to that middle person. But also everybody I had sex with, everybody the person had sex with, and everybody the third person had sex with, all of our souls are intertwining within each other, because a piece of me goes to that person, a piece of that person comes to me, and then through the people that other person slept with, pieces of them are coming to me also, and then from the people that I slept with, pieces of them are going through me to this other person, and we all are being intertwined. And so the question I got was, this is what I get also, how have you stayed celibate for this amount of time? And honestly, what I'll say is because of my intention. I now know that the purpose of sex and what it is designed for, and I want to have a good sex life when I get married. And so I know that in order for that to happen, and this is just my perspective and my opinion on it, I want to be in my purest form. So that means breaking the covenants, breaking the soul ties, disassociating myself from the people I had sex with, guarding my eyes, not being lustful, not lusting after people, not lusting after, and just becoming pure in the purest way that I can do on my own. And so what that looks like for me is I consider every man I meet somebody's husband. And so how can I say this? How I interact with other people, I interact with men as if they're somebody's husband. So I'm not going to be overly flirtatious or overly sexual or anything like that. Like, this is somebody's husband. And the same is for women. This is somebody's wife. Not that I'm interested in women, but just for men out there, so I consider everybody somebody's spouse. And so I treat them accordingly. I treat them respectfully because I want the same thing in return. I want, when I get married, for my husband to be respected by other people. Now, granted, there are people who are going to be like, oh, she married, he's married, I'm going to go for it. But I'm already training myself to be like, this is somebody's husband. Don't be in his face too much. It's all right. It's enough laughing at the jokes. Like, how I treat people, because I do hang with married people. So how I hang with my married friends is just how I treat other men outside of that. You know what I'm saying? Just in a respect way, because I also want that for myself and for my marriage, and I want my marriage to be respected. And so I'm legitimately just practicing what I want and treating people how I would like for to be treated. Now, granted, it's not going to always work like that. And that's okay, but I'm still going to do my part. And so that is really a major catalyst for me, like being committed to the process. Like, I want my sex life to be popping when I get married. Like, I want my husband to respect me. I want him to be faithful to me, and I want to be faithful to him as well. But also just learning that like pieces of me are out there, you know, and pieces of other people are within me. Now, I've done a lot of fasting, a lot of praying, a lot of deliverances, and all of these things to like separate myself from that, because like that's just a part of the process. And that don't mean it's like easy, because let me tell you, I came across this man one day, and let me tell you, this man, right? And he was trying to talk to me, and I ran. And my sister was like, "You're so dramatic," but I had to. I told her, "Listen, I'd have lost it all for this man. Okay, this was a handsome man. This was a good looking man. Okay, what I told her was I would have had all of this man's babies. That's what I said." That's what I said. Not even going to sugarcoat it. Not even going to lie. I told her, I said I ran because I knew if I would have gave that man my phone number, I would have just forsook it all and just be like, "Here, have it." You know what I'm saying? And I did run. I ran right to my car, and I sat in that mob, and I pulled off. Okay. I didn't want him to see me look at him. I just kept it going. You know, you have to know yourself, right? I know myself. I know my weaknesses, right? You know, it's not easy, but I'm committed to the outcome. It's easier now, but I'm committed. I am committed to staying pure until I get married. Like, and that's legit. No funny business. I don't put myself in situations where I have to pray myself out of. And that really has taken me a long way. That has taken me up to where I am now, 5.5 years in my celibacy journey. And because my intentions, like, I really want good intentions in my marriage. I really want to be faithful. I want my husband to be faithful. I want it to be pure. I don't want to have to deal with infidelity and all of those things. And I don't know, what's going to come of it. But I just know that if I practice now, then I'll be successful. It's sometimes people say stuff to me, or sometimes I see a person and it's triggering, and then I got to go fast. Like, somebody said something to me one time and it triggered me in a way. I'm like, okay, I'm not broken. I know all of that still works, but I had to fast for like 2 weeks because it was rough, and that was just words, and that happens, it's a part of the process. Like, somebody's going to say something, it's going to be like, ooh, I felt that in a different way. And Lord, I need you to help me. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Like, I have a body. My body is natural. Like, my body is flesh. Like, my body's going to feel. It was designed to feel. It was designed to be like attracted. You know what I'm saying? And especially if somebody's like the type of person you don't mind looking at, but it's just, don't take yourself there. Don't put the thoughts in your head. Don't have the fantasies. All of those things. Like, cut it. Just cut it short, if the thought comes, just, cast it down and just do what you have to do to think on things that are good, that are lovely, that are pure, and that's just how I do it in this journey. Like, and again, it's easier now, but at the beginning it was really hard. But once I learned like God's intention for sex, once I learned about soul ties, and once I had a clear vision on what I wanted for myself, it was honestly really, really easy to just take this walk and be committed to it, because I know, like, if I meet a man, or if a man's interested in me, I'm going to put him on the altar. I'm taking to the Lord. Like, Lord, who is this person to me? Can I be friends with this person? Does this person want more? And sometimes we have to separate ourselves from people. There are people that I had to separate myself from because even though I didn't look at them in a sexual way, I was honestly just trying to be friends with them. They were lusting after me. And the one thing I never want is to lead a man on, or make them think that my friendship is more than what it is. Cause I'm not trying to be more to somebody. I'm not trying to be like all of that. I'm waiting for my moment. I'm okay in my waiting process. I'm not going to force it, and whatever happens, happens. But I take everybody and I put them before the Lord, because one, this is somebody's husband. And two, how do I move forward accordingly? And I have friends, like platonic friendships. Like, I'm cool with this person, they're cool. Like, I have married friends, like married family, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I feel like because my intentions are pure. But I had to train my mind and my body in that way. And that's how I've gotten this far. There are people who are celibate, but they're celibate because they can't get anybody. And at first I thought like, oh, that's the reason I'm celibate, because I can't get a man. But no, people check. I'm like, okay. Oh, there are people who are interested in me. But then I had to take a step back, because I really thought, something was wrong with me. Oh, maybe nobody's looking for me. I've been celibate for like 4 years or 3 years or whatever the case have you. And what's wrong? But then I took a step back and I realized that, hey, once somebody shows interest in me, or once I feel like somebody's like looking at me a kind of way, I automatically take it before the Lord, and I say, Lord, if this person is not my person, then remove them. And that's legitimately how I move. Like, if this person is not for me, am I a destiny helper to this person? Is this person a destiny helper to me? Can I be friends with this person? If not, then shut it down. And that's how I move. And I had to recognize that, no, it's not for lack of trying, right? Or lack of interest, but you bring every person to the altar. But that's because I don't want to listen. I'm not trying to be in anybody's situation. I'm not trying to be in anybody's entanglement. I'm not trying to be friends with benefits. I don't want any of that. I'm not about that life. I'm not. And so I would rather be single than entertain nonsense and waste people's time. Because if I bring it for the altar, and if I bring it to the altar, the Lord's going to let me know. Okay, boom, go ahead, proceed. Okay, be cool. Okay, nope, this person has ulterior motives. They're just trying to slide in so they can see, how celibate are you really? How committed to me are you really? How committed to Christ are you? Because there are people who say, oh, they're celibate, they're abstinent, they're Christian, they're not doing this, that, and the third. And for the right price, or the person say the right words, or they turn you on the right way, and you gonna fold just like that. And I'm not. And I think it's funny because I was talking to this guy, and we were making jokes, and I was like, he told me to shake a tree to get a husband, right? So I told him, like, I'm shaking the tree, no husband's falling out. I think the tree is broke. And he like, yeah, they falling out. They just want some. I said, yeah, but that's the problem, because I'm not giving none. And he said, yeah, that's the problem. I said, it's not a problem for me. It's a problem for them. He said, it's a problem for you. If you're looking and you haven't found what you're looking for. But the funny thing is, I'm not looking. It was all jokes, but I thought it was funny because there's truth in that. There are men who are like, all right, let's see. And once they recognize, and women too, because there are celibate men who deal with women and women like, oh, this person fine. I wanna, do with them. And because the man is celibate, they write him off. Oh, he's whack, or he's a buster, he's this, he's friendly, he's that, he's the third, and it works both ways when people don't get what they want. And I feel like we're in a culture where sex is over sexualized. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just so sexy. People, they don't dress anymore. Everybody's like naked and wearing lingerie as clothing, where lingerie used to be your sexy time clothes. You get me? But now it's your everyday wear. And so there's no mystery. There's no intrigue. Like, you just put it all out there. And so when you're like, nope, I'm reserving myself, I'm holding myself, I'm waiting, I'm saving myself to marriage, or some people are just saving themselves till they feel like they've met the right person or whatever have you, and people write you off, not recognizing that there are other forms of getting to know somebody than sex. And that's one thing that I learned through this journey, which was I guess how to better communicate, but also how to vet people, because it's like people who only want to have sex with you, they move a certain kind of way, and you'll be able to recognize it because it's off the table. So if it's off the table, then I can see clearly what your intentions and what your motives are. And so like I said, I thought I was broken. I thought something was wrong with me, but I recognized, like, no, nothing's wrong with you. You just have intention. You have a goal in mind, and that's okay. People make it seem like, oh, it's a bad thing. You'll never find somebody by being celibate. I would rather wait now and sit here and, like, quote unquote sacrifice. I don't really think it's a sacrifice, honestly. I think it's preservation. So I would rather sit here and be preserved and wait until my time comes than to, like, get out there and be with the wrong person. And and put myself in a detrimental situation. Like, I don't want to live that life anymore. And so that's where I am with it. And it's not a hard place to be once you put your mind to it. Like, once you get your focus on it, once you set your mind to it, and once you're intentional about it moving forward, it becomes easier and easier and easier. And, like, with sex off the table, you get to know people, you get to build relationships and friendships with people, and some people will really be your friends, and some people will only be there until they recognize that you're serious about not sleeping with them, and some people will fall off immediately, and that's okay. It's all okay. Like, it is okay. There will always be relationships to be had. There will always be new people to meet. There will always be friendships formed, relationships formed, all of those things. You just have to walk in integrity and stand on your word and be consistent and be honest and be truthful about where you are, so that people can either respect you or leave. And that's really what it boils down to. So I hope that this has helped you in some type of way. I hope that you enjoy my business. I pray that you have a life of growth and peace, that you are inspired and intrigued. Go ahead, like, subscribe, schedule a session with my relationships goals program. Something. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye for now.